Hey everyone, I'm coming to you from New York City, specifically Brooklyn. I'm here in my Airbnb. This is the Airbnb I'm going to be staying in for my quick trip to New York for a couple of weeks here. I'm hoping to be able to go on a few castings and hopefully, fingers crossed, book some jobs while I'm here. There's a bridal fashion week going on this week, later this week, and so I'm hoping that something might come through. I haven't gotten anything confirmed yet, nothing booked yet. It's now Wednesday. I got to the city on Monday. It was a bit of a journey to get here. That's no exaggeration. When I decided I was coming back to New York in April, it was the end of March, and plane tickets for April were pretty expensive, so I thought I'd get creative. I'd never taken a Greyhound bus to New York, and, Greyhound's been around a while, and didn't think anything of it. Sunday evening at 5:30, I left from Columbus, Ohio, and the bus went to Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland around 8:30 p.m., and my bus was supposed to come in and depart at 10:30 p.m. We all started lining up to take this bus, and at 10:30, we still had not boarded the bus, and usually they board the bus at least half an hour early. And finally, at 11 o'clock at night, the people came over the loudspeaker at the bus station. They said there's a momentary delay with your driver, and they didn't give us any more information. And at that point, I thought, well, it's more than momentary. It's been half an hour since we've been supposed to take off, so that's a little weird, but, it'll be fine. During all this, I'm thinking about the fact that I had a casting lined up Monday at 10 a.m. and my bus was supposed to get into New York at 7:30 a.m. So I would still have a nice cushion of time so I could drop off my bags to my Airbnb, freshen up and make it to my casting. It was the only casting that I've had lined up for the time that I'm here, so it was really important. And it also was a decent amount of money. Finally, at 11:30 p.m., they came back on the speaker and they said there's still a momentary delay with your driver. An hour is not momentary in my eyes, so I thought, okay, this is like getting a little nerve-wracking, kind of getting nervous. Another hour, it was then 12:30 in the morning, and finally they came on the speaker again and they said, we don't have a driver for you guys, and we will not be able to get a driver until maybe, at the best, 2:30 a.m. So at that point, I did the math and I realized I won't be able to make it to New York in time for my casting. So I was really upset, to say the least. I emailed my agents right away, and luckily they got back to me right away. And unfortunately, they couldn't move the casting at all for me. It was 10 a.m. or nothing. If you can't make it to 10 a.m., then you're out. So that was really tough because that was the only casting I had lined up for this entire trip. And there goes a potential job. So I thought, okay, well, hopefully they'll come at 2:30 in the morning. That would still be 4 hours late from when we were supposed to leave, but, fingers crossed. At this point, all of the fellow New Yorkers that are supposed to be on the way from Ohio to New York were getting really angry and trying to talk to the clerks at the help desk and figure out what's going on. Do we really have a driver? Is the driver really coming? And they told us there was supposed to be a driver coming on another bus en route to New York, and this bus was stopping at 2:30 a.m. at our bus stop, and they were supposed to be carrying a second driver that would hop off and then take us on our bus. So 2:30 rolls around, the people for the second 2:30 bus are all lined up, and they get on their bus. There's no driver on that bus for us. So that bus takes off. We're still waiting there. And finally we hear that there's a driver that arrived. We didn't see any driver. This communication was just absurd. There was no communication. And so finally, we learned that there was a driver, and apparently it was really important to clean the windows of the bus before, letting us board, because it had been like 5.5 hours at this point that we were late. So finally we started lining up at 3:30 in the morning to board the bus at 4 a.m. and then we finally left the station at 4:15 in the morning, which is almost 6 hours past when we were supposed to leave. We made the journey to New York. We didn't get there until about 1:15 in the afternoon. Hours after my casting. That was just that opportunity was not there anymore because of the Greyhound bus. Trying to get in contact with Greyhound. I've made a few posts on Facebook about it. I wrote on their Facebook page my whole review about it. My next step, since they didn't answer my private message to them via Facebook, is that I'm going to call them and I need like at least a full refund for my trip. And then of course I have to ride the Greyhound bus to Ohio, so I'm hoping that goes well. I encourage you guys to do your research before you buy any tickets from a bus line or airline, whatever. Greyhound is not what I would recommend. And I'm staying in Brooklyn. I'm kind of near Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, and Monday when I got in, I took a subway to my Airbnb and just kind of chilled for a little bit. Felt good to not be in a bus. And I took a little walk around my neighborhood, and on Tuesday I went to the City Museum of New York. So yeah, it was interesting to learn more about the history of New York. And when I left the museum, it's on Fifth Avenue right off of Central Park, so I spent some time in Central Park. It was such a gorgeous day. Springtime is definitely here in New York right now, so that's exciting. It's a lot warmer than when I was here in March. Hoping that I get a casting I can go to or some jobs, and we'll see, fingers crossed. I don't have anything lined up so far, and I leave next Friday night. I'm supposed to leave Friday at 9:15 p.m. and then it's another overnight bus to Columbus, so I'm really hoping we leave on time. So yeah, don't ride a Greyhound if you don't like waiting 6 hours and sleeping on the floor in the middle of the night. That's all I have to say.